for joining. Camden, Joey, Susan. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. I'm just getting started here. I'm getting the TikTok going and this started. So I'm going to wait for everybody to get in here and then I'll get started as to what we are going to be talking about. And with the title, we all know it's going to be about Lindsay Clancy. We know that yesterday was a very intensive trial, and today was pretty intensive as well. So from yesterday, what I can tell you, let me get organized here a little bit better. Yesterday, they talked about the discovery, with the autopsies and what they found with the children. I'll give you the rundown with this case. Let's just start that while everybody starts joining. So we have a case here that's in trial right now with the person that is on the stand is Lindsay Clancy. She's a mother of three, and she murdered her three children. Cora, she was a daughter, 5 years old. Her son, Dawson, who was 3 years old, and then her youngest child, Callan, who was only 8 months old at the time. And she is claiming that she was in postpartum depression. So now she's on the stand on trial because she's fighting that postpartum depression took over and she had no control over what she was doing. And now it's kind of like, so who's liable for this? Who took over? Was it her mind? She's trying, her stances on this. She's pleading not guilty on the claim of insanity. So in Massachusetts, because this is where this is taken, it's a lot harder to say that you were insane during the time that you were doing a crime. And Massachusetts is one of there's only so many states in America that have it very difficult. I don't have it in front of me on what the difficulty is, but they make it very difficult to claim that you're insane during the time that you commit a crime based on their what they say is your protocol or how you have to define your means of being insane. So it's going to be a bit of a rocky road for this person, Lindsay Clancy, to claim that she was insane during this time that she murdered her three children. She's not denying that she did this act, but she is also saying that she blacked out during that exact moment. She talks about what led up to this. This is what the whole case is about. Everything that brought her to this moment, the months, the years even that led to this time. And that's why she's on the stand. This is why we have a trial. And this is why this is such a big deal, because we need to know where the ball dropped. If a ball dropped, did it happen? Or is she just claiming insanity because it's the easy way out? Which that's part of the arguments in social media is that the easy way out? Just say you're insane and then you get to commit a crime and get away with it? Or is there really something going on here where this mother was screaming and crying for help, and it was claimed on deaf ears and nobody heard her, and she literally did do all of the steps that we ask a mother to do when these situations arise, and in this situation nobody listened to her. So with Lindsay Clancy, she's a mother of three. I'll give you a quick rundown with the background. She was married in 2016 to her husband, Patrick Clancy. They lived in a town called Duxbury, Massachusetts. They had a beautiful home. It was 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths, a little over 1,700 square feet, upwards of $500,000. They bought it in 2018, and they decided they were going to raise their family in this once they got married. In 2016, they got married, had their first child in 2017, bought this house in 2018. They were going to raise their family in this home. And so first child was born in 2017, and that is Cora. And then I don't have all the years of the children, but if Dawson is 3, so we can assume that he was born in 2019-ish, right? So he's born in 2019, right? And then come 2021, the third child, Callan, is born. So we have these 3 children born within a year or 2 of each other. And they want to raise their 3 children in this suburban home in Massachusetts in the town called Duxbury. And then fast forwarding to when this event happened and these 3 children were unalived, the whole claim is that the mom was suffering from postpartum depression. So typically in a situation like this, we want to go back and see, well, if she's already had 3 children, well, does she suffer from this postpartum depression during child number 1, during child number 2, and now subsequently during child number 3? So kind of, rewinding it, was there any red flags or orange flags during child number 1, which is Cora, and she was 5 years old, so that would take us back to 2017. And yeah, a little bit, she had some apprehension when she had to go. She's a labor and delivery nurse, so that kind of adds some context to this as well, because she's a labor and delivery nurse. She loves to deliver children, bring them into the world. So some would think that softens the blow a little bit. In my mind, my opinion is that softens the blow because this is what her passion is. This is what her career path is. Okay, so set that aside. And so now she's got Cora, her firstborn, 5 years ago, 2017. And does she have any apprehension, postpartum signs or anything going back to work with Cora? Not really. I mean, if this story wasn't in the headlines and in the news and nobody was talking about it now in 2026, would we really think that what Lindsay did with Cora when she was born a big deal? Probably not, but I'll tell you what she did anyway. So when she had Cora, she had to go back to work, just like, any other mom that's a working mom. So she goes back to work after her maternity leave, and she's kind of nervous about it. Of course she is. Any mom would be when she has to go back to work. And so she sets up a monitor because we have that you can just buy a monitor at Walmart, Target, anywhere, Amazon, whatever, wherever you want to go. And you can set it up to wherever you work, your computer, your phone, you can hook it up digitally, any way you want. And she had that set up to the camera that she set up in her daughter's nursery. And so she was watching her daughter from her nurse station at work and the camera on her daughter's crib or nursery at home. And one situation occurred where the baby was crying and perhaps Patrick did not notice it in time. And she was messaging him like, "Hey, Pat, she's crying. Do you hear it? She needs you. Where are you? Where are you?" And we don't know what was happening on the other end of that, because there are 2 sides to every story and a third. And he didn't respond in the time that she would have appreciated for him to respond, with the baby crying and the newborn and her, the first time mom kind of anxiety setting in. So Lindsay called the police to go and do a home check to make sure everything was okay. I mean, this is now being brought into the courts and kind of like, oh, she already was kind of losing her mind then. But for me, I'm like, well, if he wasn't answering the phone and the baby's crying and we don't know for how long, and she's trying to get a hold of the person that's there to take care of him, why wouldn't she call the police? Like, she's a nurse. She's obligated to call the police. Like, she signed an oath to call the police if she sees something wrong with a human or a child or anything. Like, why are we questioning that now that she's on this in trial and up on the cross? To me, that doesn't match up, but okay, whatever. Okay, so now I don't know why I got onto that. Oh, because now we're looking for a pattern here. So then that was the only thing that, from what I know, that was brought up from when she had Cora to kind of show a pattern of her having some emotions or going into this postpartum depression after having a child, right? That's the only thing that was brought up. For what I saw, if somebody else heard about something, please bring it to my attention, because I love to be corrected and I love to be proved wrong, because I never want to just push out stuff when there's more to it. Like, I always want to be factual. So anyway, from that, then she has Dawson, right? And I honestly, there just hasn't been enough information out there about Dawson from what I have been able to find. I've seen some conflicting information that maybe she tried to start Zoloft while she was while Dawson was a newborn, but it hurt, like it impinged her lactation, like her nursing. So she stopped it, but I don't think that matches up. I think that's more to do with Callan, and when she was started the Zoloft when she had Callan, and it affected her milk, and that's why she was kind of frustrated with the Zoloft, and that could be another reason why the Zoloft was another medication that she didn't like to take, because she realized that it was she wasn't expressing the right amount of milk to satisfy her child. And as a mom, a nursing mom, which I was, I had 3 children. I nursed all of them for some of them for over a year, some of them, like I had 10. But I know we, as moms, nursing moms, we know the difference with when you have milk and when you don't. And when you're on the ball, you know, the moment it goes away, like psychologically, you just know. And that is a panic for you, because when you know you can't feed your child and they don't take a bottle, that is literally the worst panic of life. That is life or death for a mother, because now we don't know how we're going to feed our child and we don't know what to do. So if a medication is causing that, we're going to lose our minds even more. And that could have caused even more for her downward spiral to go, because she's like, if this is all you're giving me that can help me, and this is affecting this, which is going to affect it, was just like, it's going to affect this, going to affect that, going to affect that. It's just like that red yarn that they use, you know, that if we're all in true crime, we know that red yarn that they use on those billboards back there to connect stuff. That's how it was for her. That red yarn was just connecting, that it's going to affect this and affect that, and then it's going to do that, and I'm not going to sleep, and the baby's not going to sleep, and then this. It was all just going to snowball, and she knew this, because she was a mom that I feel was very in tune with her mothering, her children, and she was the only one doing it. And I'm going to lead into that as well. So basically, the prosecution wants to present that this is like a woman who is functioning normally, but she knew what she was doing and concealed her intention and deliberately killed her children. While the defense is trying to say that this is a woman whose mental state was deteriorating dramatically, who was desperately searching for explanation for what was happening to her, repeatedly sought treatment, and whose digital history needs to be reviewed in context rather than cherry picking it for the most sinister searches. And that's what leads us into today. So today was an interesting day on the stand as well, because they had, I have his name over here somewhere, but they had a forensic specialist on the stand today to go over the searches on both Patrick and Lindsay's phones. And his last name is Chiappini, spelled Chiappini. All I can think of, the Sherry Papini case. Man, that was a wild one too, wasn't it? I knew right from the day one, she's the one that did it. All right, anyway, so this guy, basically what they want to establish today is, so the prosecution started with the questioning and they want to establish that there were searches on Lindsay's phone that insinuated that they were there on not only the murders happened on January 24th of 2022, but these searches were there on the 23rd of January 2023 and January 24th of 2023. And they were like, how do you cut a corduroy artery? How do you disable a Kia Sorento airbags, stuff like that. And so the point of today was to establish that when you're looking at searches in a phone, like when a forensic investigator, like for a technological search, looks at the phone searches and they're trying to see who searched what, is there actually a way to distinguish if two people are inside a home, or 10 people or 7 or whatever are inside one home and they're sharing a Wi-Fi, if like I'm searching up bendy bananas, and my daughter is searching up straight bananas, is all of our searches just going to reflect and then there's a crime that happens here, and now the law enforcement has to check our searches. Are they going to see, well, Alina, you weren't just searching bendy bananas. We have evidence that you were searching straight bananas too. So was the crime committed with a bendy banana, Alina, or was it committed with a straight banana? Because we see here you were searching for a bendy and a straight banana. But now that they've established that those searches happened inside my home under this Wi-Fi, are they now going to be able to establish under which person that was searched under? They should be, right? That seems pretty simple, but for whatever reason, during today's testimony, it didn't seem very clear, did it? It seemed like they had no idea who was searching what. And they tried to make it seem like Lindsay was the one searching all of these oddities, like all these sad, depressing things. And it's like, did Lindsay really search these things? And it's more like, were these things searched within that home? Like, sure, you can ask the question, were these things searched? And the answer can be yes, and that is a fact. But you can't ask the question, did Lindsay search these things? And the answer be yes, and that be a fact, because that cannot be established. And I think that's what Reddington is trying to establish today. And I think he did a really good job at that. For one thing, the way he established this was because there was a search done in, I don't have this in front of me, so I'm just going to pull it out of my head. I think it was August 22nd or August 23rd of 2022. And I'm trying to remember. And I believe that Lindsay was at a doctor appointment, a pediatrician appointment with just 2 of the children. I don't remember which 2, either the older 2. I think Cora was there for sure, but I don't know if Dawson and Callan, or if it was Callan and Dawson stayed home, whichever. So, but she had 2. One was not there. And there was a particular search made from that appeared to be from her phone. But once all of this discovery is being dug into and looked for the reasoning of, I think, today's testimony, it came out to show that it was actually Patrick doing that search somehow, some way from the home via Lindsay's email while she was at the pediatrician's office with the 2 children. And that's how Reddington was able to kind of, during the cross, to shut that, like, not, I don't think he completely shut it down, but maybe to give reasonable doubt as to the whole, so you're sure that that was her searching that stuff? Now you're positive, because here, I'm going to show you another scenario. Blum, 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 blum. And I think he did a fantastic job at that. So, and the other thing that he was trying to point out too is, because, hold on, I have it, because like prosecution is trying to say that, she's looking at things like on her searches is like the unaliving, being depressed, insomnia, all negative things. And then Reddington's like, well, but hold on, because if you really look at her searches, they kind of look more like, if you look at all of her searches, they do say things like bipolar, psychosis, hallucinations, insomnia, medications, postpartum depression, intrusive thoughts, McLean, but they also say children's food, Paw Patrol, children's activities, pediatric medical issues, and so on and so forth. So it's an array of all things that any mother or a mother that's concerned for her well-being, plus her children's, and plus daily life, and just has to function within society and live in this life that she is presented with. That's what, don't look, this is what a search would look like. Don't look at mine, because I would never survive this. I would never survive this case. I would never survive this trial based on how they're crucifying her just on her searches. Get out of here. FOH. The other thing they showed was this video from a museum trip that they went to. The prosecution showed this video. And what I think the prosecution was trying to present is that here Lindsay is journaling all this stuff that she can't get out of bed. She can't function. She doesn't know how to take care of herself, not only herself, but the children as well. She's barely, she can't do anything. But yeah, look at this video, y'all. She's at the museum and she's got the baby right here and she's showing Cora this and she's doing this and she's doing that. But what the prosecution, I don't know what they were thinking, because what we all saw when that video was presented is who? Not that guy. What we saw is Patrick standing in the back doing what? Doing what? Not shit. That's what. He was the one that was disconnected, disassociated, not just standing there like, oh, sorry, was I doing a live? Oh, no, I thought it was Patrick. Sorry. That's what we saw, or my opinion, what I think we saw. Okay? It's almost like the prosecution doesn't even realize that they're, giving themselves a whatever. But here we are. In addition to that, another takeaway from today, something that I saw all over. Well, first, let me go through some of these questions and answer some stuff. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 to get to the next level on YouTube. Thank you, everybody on TikTok, for joining my live. Don't forget to like it, click it, share it, repost it. Let everybody know I'm here. I'd really appreciate it. And then go over to YouTube and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. Just press the button. All I need is a click. I appreciate it. So now I'll go through and see if you guys have any questions over here on TikTok. Thank you, all of you guys, for joining. This is awesome. Does anybody have any questions about anything at this point? Click that screen. Don't forget to give us a follow. Click it, share it. Let everybody know I'm here doing a live. Let's see. Tyler says, I think it was one of the boys. Yes, I saw that, but I don't remember what it was for. Tyler, Pauline says, how could she do the search at home when she was at the doctor's office? Exactly what I was trying to say. This is where I think they're trying to point out, with Reddington is trying to point out, without so many words or without so many motions or without so much, like, hey, maybe there's a bigger picture here. I don't know. Let's see. Hey, Widow. Thanks for joining. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What did you think about today? We have Widow joining us on TikTok over here. If you guys want to.
It was wild.
Yeah, today was insane.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about all that testimony about the phone stuff?
I just thought, oh my goodness, I hope no one ever sees my search history.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking too. Like, man. But in this case, it's like, because I can kind of understand too with the how they're trying to point out that just because one person searched something within the house, that it can show up on another person's search history, right? Like, yep. I have 3 kids, right? And they have their friends over and all of that. And we share our Wi-Fi. And that's exactly the reason why we started to have like our like the guest, the Wi-Fi guest, because because that's it inflicts with our searches and like our memory thing and our, you know, everything that we do. And then all of a sudden, like, we don't want to go on our Google thing and then see, you know, K-pop or something.
Yeah.
And look for what the coolest Pokemon card is or something, because that's just not stuff that we're looking for. And it kind of confused us. So we had to figure out to let all those kids join a different part of our Wi-Fi. And I understand now why.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when this case first started, I thought it was open shut.
Yeah.
But now nope. I think there's something way bigger going on.
Yeah. Another interesting thing that I saw today, and I'm hoping I have it over here on my other phone. So a lot of people with Patrick, right? And I'm not trying to say that everybody needs to point fingers on him or anything. I think if that's the case, then it'll come out by itself, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the whole Patrick?
I think he has something to do with it.
Yeah. Or at least be held liable. I mean, if he knew that his wife was having these feelings and emotions and she shared, especially, I mean, one thing is that he didn't initially say that she was feeling, I can't say the S word, but, you know, unaliving feeling and then homicide feeling. He initially never shared that, but then later on he shared that. But if he knew that she shared that with him, why did he continually leave the kids alone with him or with her over and over again?
Exactly.
Right.
My other problem is the knots.
The knots. Yes. I was going to bring, I have a whole thing about that. Yes.
Yep. He is a sailor.
Yes.
And those were sailor knots.
Those were sailor knots.
And she had lost so much weight, which means her muscle mass is going to also go down.
Right.
And to have the strength to do that, it's going to be a lot harder.
Right.
On her.
Right.
The bed movement towards the window. I have an issue with that. It's just there's
and how
too
she
much.
moved the bed. Like, why would she move the bed?
Yeah,
like
it was close to the window.
Right, and moving the bed is just like, if you're in that moment, like for me, I'm just thinking like, you want to get it done right now, you would just climb. I would have just climbed on top of that and just dove, not move the bed, because to me, moving the bed means that you need to make room for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. And also the timeline of the little one, they say that the timeline that he would have only have had 10 minutes to have gotten resuscitated, and that does not match up with the timeline. So to me, it happened later than what.
And wasn't she found on her back?
Yeah.
Okay. And so on a second story building, if, and I live on my house has 2 stories, and I went upstairs and all that. And I even had my kids go up there with me, they're adult children. And I was like, let's talk about this. Like, if one of us were to go, like, are any of you guys doing a pirouette, or like, what are we doing? Are we going to like do a out the window before we go, or no? From just that distance, because it's not that far, we're just going to fall like this. Unless we're pushed, we're going to fall like that. We're going to fall on our backs if we're pushed. But if we're diving because we're just done with life, we're going to fall on our faces, not on our backs, because that's going to take a thought in our minds to then again, after moving the bed, putting the knife down, opening the window, moving the curtains, we're going to then twist in the air, and then what? We're going to dab? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, this is ridiculous.
And then to have a crushed thyroid on her is the only way that you can have that done is if you were neck on or hands on neck by someone, or like hanging.
And the hanging. And I just saw today, like right before I started this, that the blood on the shingle on the house, because the house is made of shingles, right? That it kind of coincides with that, because it would be like she was dropped and hit.
Yep.
That because if that's what happened, that would be like dangling from the feet.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. I just, between that, the email at 5:24.
Well, and then did you see so the other thing is the new wife, right?
Yeah.
Did you see that stuff?
Yeah. They knew each other before. He had gone on a work trip and met her up there in New York. Then on top of it all, 1 month exactly after the boys passed, he goes to Costa Rica and does a review on all trails. Who's going to do that?
Well, I just want to say that a lot of people spoke to that, and they were like, I lost my child to this and that, but they didn't. And I will say, I read literally probably 400 or so comments. Not one person in that comment said I lost my child to murder. But a lot of people said, I lost my child, or I lost my spouse, I lost my grandma, I lost my mother, this and that. And they were like, I went on a vacation 6 months later. I went on a cruise, but it was pre-planned. I did this, I did that. Not one person said, my 3 children were murdered, and within less than 3 weeks later, I went on a hike. But some people wanted to kind of normalize it and say, we all grieve differently. And that is true. We do. So that I will not take away from him. But there is something I will say. The other thing that we have found is that his new wife, Rachel, put a post up in 2025 saying, in addition to his hiking post and that same trail that he posted about 20 days, not even 3 weeks later, 20 days later, after he buried his 3 children, she then posted in, I believe, February of 2025, this is our 3rd year doing this hike. In February of 2025, she says, in response to him, this is our 3rd year doing this hike.
Wow.
I mean, let's math that out, folks.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was 2022. So he was with her.
Yep.
And that's my opinion. I'm not, don't come for me. I don't need any, don't come for me. I got no money. You're not going to get anything from me. But that's my opinion. If I'm mathing this.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, with his trip to New York in November of 2022 and her in that picture as well. I mean,
yeah.
But yet they had an 8-month-old child, and he's out doing this.
Right.
It's one thing if you're having marital issues, then don't bring another child into the relationship.
Right.
Because, 2022, she would have been pregnant.
Exactly. And it's not like this is the first time in true crime history, or even in history, or even in 200 years, 500 years, where you got to get rid of the old to introduce the new.
Exactly.
And he just maybe thought he was going to go about it in some other way. We don't know. And I'm not blaming him. I'm not. We're just trying to figure this out because it doesn't make sense. She says she did this, right? But she doesn't remember the actual acts. Am I right on that?
You're correct.
Okay. But she remembers this voice, a male voice.
Yep.
Okay. So how do we now maybe not think that, who could be that voice?
And if you're mentally unstable like that and you're so out of it, the other thing is she'd had 800 milligrams of, what was the medication? It was in her system at the time of her fall. She'd been out like a light anyway.
Yeah. What about the shoes? Have you seen that about the shoes?
Yeah,
So for those that don't know, I'm going to see if I can show you the picture here. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. So there's this like a new theory. It's a conspiracy theory. I'm not supporting it because I don't know anything about it. And it's a new one going around that when he was in the 3V restaurant versus when he was, this is Patrick, versus when he was at CVS, he had different shoes on. Okay. And I have the pictures of each. So I will now show the camera. So that is
Yep.
one. And that, so this is CBS and that is 3V. And let me go over to YouTube here. So that is CBS and that is 3V. CBS, 3V. CBS, 3V. 3V, CBS. So, like,
those are two different shoes. One's are boots, the other ones are tennis shoes.
And then I have this here. He's in line at 3V. Here he's at line at 3V. And then they want to kind of now the new conspiracy is that it was his friend. Have you seen that?
Oh, really?
Yes. Hold on. Pretty sure I got a picture. Oh, I didn't. And it's on my other phone. Hold on. Jeannie, can you send me a picture on my other phone of the friend in comparison? I'll get it in a second here. So yeah, but there's a lot of people that have already AI manipulated the pictures, but there is somebody that did a hairline drawing like this, like that with the friend versus Patrick walking into either, because they're trying to say that it was like his friend that helped him. I think if that's what happened, they would have figured this out a long time ago. But they did like a hairline, like drawing like this when the person's walking in, and it actually does look kind of messy that the one hairline does look like his friend, and then the other hairline is very comparable to the Clancy. But I don't think that's it. I really don't. Like, I don't think that's the answer here. I think it's more that Patrick manipulated her. Also with the kids having antidepressants in their system, right?
Yeah.
Like a nurse and somebody that's been dealing, like literally in the midst of this, dealing with all these medications and knowing what takes 2 to 4 weeks to kick in and what is immediate. Why would she use a medication that takes 2 to 4 weeks to kick in to give them versus somebody that's in computers and has no idea and thinking all of these medications work immediately because that's just how some guys think. And that's why they gave the children something that they thought was immediate.
Did you see Susie's comment or question?
On here, hold on one second.
Yeah.
Susie says, who was the lady in the picture they showed to Patrick claiming it was Lindsay on their anniversary? What day of testimony was that, though? Does anybody know the answer to that?
I'm not sure. So yesterday, I believe, is what Susie said.
Yesterday. So hold on, I'll read it to YouTube too. So for my YouTube audience, we have somebody on TikTok asking, who was the lady in the picture they showed to Patrick claiming it was Lindsay on their anniversary? Does anybody know? Okay, we'll see if anybody can answer that.
And she says, oh no, it was when Patrick was on the stand.
And then Susie adds, it was when Patrick was on the stand. Okay, we'll see. Jeannie says, Queen, you should have the pictures. I don't think you're talking. Maybe it's somebody in the chat named Queen. Oh, she's telling me I should have the pictures in here. Hold on. Thank you, Jeannie. No, the pictures of his friend and him on the stand that shows his face looking just like his. Thank you, Jeannie. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that answer for Susie, Joanna says, today they were saying that Reddington had a forensic doctor visit her in the hospital. He let her use his phone to call Patrick, and that he allegedly told her to say he heard a man's voice. I didn't hear that. Did you guys hear that? I didn't either. Wow, Joanna, that's super interesting. A lot of people also thought that the prosecution rested today, but they didn't, and that prosecution was preparing to put a priest on the stand right at the end. Wow. Yeah. And I actually have that priest, if it's the same one that they used, that they spoke to earlier. He's already in here. But starting Monday, I guess the defense is starting, and they're going to be like gung ho.
And then someone commented, not true. Not true for what? About someone, or when she was in the hospital.
Oh, I see that now. The Honey Xantimunds.
Yeah.
That was earlier. Thank you, everybody, for joining and liking. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to give Widow a like, a share, a follow, a click, and then go over to my YouTube. Give me a follow, a subscribe. Okay, so we have that Susie question. And then Susie says, yesterday, I believe. And then Susie says, oh, no, it was Patrick on the stand. And then not true. Honey, can you give us tell us what you're saying not true to? Okay. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. Give Widow a follow and a like just the same. What did you think about Widow? What did you think about the museum video?
I didn't get to see it.
You didn't?
No.
I wish I had just like a still picture from it. I mean, even just seeing a still picture of it and just seeing like Lindsay with the baby strapped to her and the other two just kind of circling around her, and she's showing them something. So like if she's right here, Patrick is like way down there, just kind of standing off to the side, just standing against the wall, just stone face, just standing there.
Wow.
And she's got all the kids around her, and she's like where all the activity is, and he's just against the wall. And this is the prosecution showing this video. And again, their point was to show that she wasn't, that she wasn't in that state of mind of, I don't want to get out of bed. I have no will to live. But I think it backfired on them big time. I really do.
And Hannah, I am also annoyed that he was not investigated, but that's Massachusetts law. If the partner or someone says that they tried to commit schmomicide, then they stop all investigation basically into anyone else. So it is annoying, but that's the Commonwealth.
Yeah. Yeah, each state is different, and we can't. Just like Massachusetts has the different statutes of how to get to the reason of insanity, right? Like they're making it so much more difficult to reach claim, right, for Lindsay.
Someone asked, which nurse doesn't know where is doesn't know where is Do you know that question, Alina?
Which one from who?
It's Chase something. It's which nurse doesn't
know where the corduroid artery is?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, because that was a search that was found on her phone, searching where the corduroid artery is, and corduroid artery is. And that's one of the arteries that if you cut it, you're gonna not exist very shortly, right? And that's what they're trying to show is like, why would a labor and delivery nurse especially not know where that is? Because it's like it's essential, it's crucial for any nurse to know. That's one of the like day one, nursing 101. Welcome to. Should you be a nurse? Answer this question. Do you know where this artery is? Yes or no? And if your answer is no, go over to the arts and crafts section of the college, please, immediately.
Well, and that's like, I mean, I wasn't even going into nursing school. I learned that in anatomy and physiology in college.
Right. Exactly. And that's why it's like, if it shows the logic, just follow the logic of this. Why would somebody that knows this, a nurse knows this stuff like that, like they just recall it, just like we recall, we know where to grab our, things that we need very quickly. We just know for our children this, we just know where to grab our milk or phone or whatever our children need. We know how to grab that because it's essential for their survival. And for her, this is essential for her patient's survival. And this is what she chose as her career path. There's no way in my mind that she wouldn't know where this is. But somebody that's in IT, I guarantee you they don't know where that is.
Yeah. Well, and I heard that all he does is he sells stuff for Microsoft. Like, he's not like an IT engineer or anything like that. He's just part of their sales team.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I haven't looked into any of his like what he does. But the other thing that kind of stuck out for me too is like disabling, what was it, the airbags on the car?
Yeah.
Right. That again also speaks to, for me, in my opinion, for somebody that's not in like a psychological state of wanting to hurt themselves. That to me speaks to the psychological state of somebody that wants to hurt somebody else.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't go, like if I'm checked out and I'm done with life and I'm over it, I wouldn't be like, how do I figure out how to make my car hurt me the worst? Like, no, you don't go and look for the hardest avenue, because to me that looks like he's looking for another accident. He's looking for an accident to occur to make it look like it was her fault,
Yep.
And if she wanted to take her own life, she's not looking for it to be an accident. Why would she want to take her own life and want it to look like it's an accident?
Yeah.
Who's done that in the past? Give me one person and I will shut this all down. But you can't. Nobody has taken their own life and said, hey, look, I did it on purpose because I wanted it to look like an accident. Fuck out of here. Nobody has done that. That right there should have been done, shut over. Somebody was looking at that because they wanted to look like an accident on purpose. You don't do that because you're trying to take your own life. You're like, come on. But okay.
Well, I mean, I believe that we need to get justice for her and for those babies, and I don't think it's with.
And I know that what I'm going to say right now is really like not okay, and I know, and that's why I always say viewer discretion advised. But I really stand by that. I think she went downstairs and saw something on his computer that slapped her in the face once again by him. And she was like, he's at it again. He's still up to the same stuff. I knew it. She caught him at something. And that's why, and I hate to say this, like it pains me. That's why the baby was in the office.
Yeah.
I really do. If she was the one that concluded these acts, I really think, and I do think he drove her to that, but then part of me thinks that maybe there's something, because I'm confused on why why the bed was moved, why the knife is laying there, why she landed on her back, why there's blood on the shingle. Like that doesn't work scientifically, mathematically. None of that adds up. Like,
nope.
Did they even practice that? Did they even like dangle a dummy, like, hey, take me, I'll do it. I'll let them dangle me, just to prove that how did that happen? Because if you're jumping again, unless she's a dancer and she was just like, hey, I'm going to give it one last twirl. I mean, how did she end up on her back from a second-story building? How?
Yeah. It's just
like I don't give me any tequila, because a few bottles in, I'll try and I'll be like, hey guys, look, I tried to pull a Lindsay Clancy, and then and I'll be like, I'll be on my face and be like, told you she didn't do it,
But, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just, I don't know, there's something that just stinks to high heaven, and I think Massachusetts needs to change their laws. I think they should have investigated that completely, top to bottom, instead of, oh, well.
But why didn't they? Like, why?
It's just part of their laws there that if it's an unaliving of oneself or because of that, they don't do a full investigation.
Did you see how they're trying to say that it was Patrick's friend that could have done, like they split it up? I don't believe any of that. So
no, me neither.
Okay. I don't buy any of that.
No, and then
I don't think he's that smart.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think he was unhappy. He wanted that new life, and he didn't want to pay the child support. And
I agree.
I just can't wait for the defense.
Right. Starting Monday. hopefully we'll, and I can't wait for that either. And I mean, I think Reddington is amazing. Like, he's a one-man show. He just works with his paralegal. That's all he's ever done. He operates on black coffee. He doesn't have a whole team. It's just him. And I think that is just remarkable. And that's just, that speaks volumes on his, like, how much he's working hard for this.
Exactly. I think that he is absolutely phenomenal, and I think she's got a great lawyer. I mean, I will say this, I think she's going to need extra help anyway.
Yeah.
Even if it comes out that what I'm thinking is what happened, because she's blamed herself for so long.
Yeah. I do have one thing to say though, and I'm not dogging on Reddington or nothing like that. I'm just want to point out what I see, because that's what the whole point of this is. So yesterday, we know that they talked about the autopsies, and it was a very emotional day for the whole courtroom, right? She was crying. It was difficult. And we know that Reddington he embraced her, put his, arms on her shoulders and kind of whispered down to her. You remember all of that?
Yeah, I do.
During that. And also what we know is that she's not required to be in the courtroom. Like, she's not in there by law. If she needs to be dismissed or exit during any testimony, she is allowed to. That is a fact, right?
Yep.
So the whole premise, kind of like the whole reasoning of this case, is that there was a cry for help that was not listened to, that was missed, right? That was on deaf ears. And yesterday kind of bothered me, only because here she had to sit through the testimonies of listening to these autopsies and these, reports from the medical examiners and whatnot. And it was clearly difficult for her, right?
Yep, it was.
And I felt that she should have not been. I felt like this was an opportunity for Reddington to take her out of the room, to show, hey guys, look, this is what you guys should have done. And I'm going to take the stance, and I'm going to take that authority and wheel her out of here and remove her from what has been bringing her all of this depression and negativity and all of this. And I'm going to take her out of this scenario, because this is where you guys, this whole room, everybody in here, this is where you all failed her. And I'm going to display the actions of what everybody should have done a long time ago, and removed her from that situation and found her the resolve. And nobody did that. So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to show you how easily that's done. And I just felt that was such a good opportunity for him to do that. And it kind of was lost. And she again had to sit through that constant, just getting bombarded and beat up and told again that she's worthless,
Because it's almost like she didn't, it's like she didn't even know what happened to her children. Like, the way that she acted, it was like she had no clue.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a reason why he kept her in there. Like, there's some comments here with Grammy Liz saying, I'm really angry at people who are blaming Patrick. The CW has made me, I disagree. She was heard. Grammy Liz says, apparently we disagree. That's okay, Grammy Liz. You can disagree with me all you want. That's totally okay. That's why we have these discussions, because we want to see where why we're here today. What was missed? So, but that's really it. What's happening in other news? What's going on with you?
What's so great about us as people is that if we all sat and agreed on every single thing, life would be very boring.
That's right. It's a good point. What are you cooking up in that microwave, Widow? Mac and cheese
and gravy.
Oh, nice. Oh, I had really good chicken tonight, and it's called Babe's Chicken, and they had really good biscuits and gravy there too.
Oh, yeah.
So what's going on in your world? Any good cases you got to talk about? How's the Idaho stuff? Twin Falls.
Actually, they reopened.
Oh, good.
Which really surprised me that they opened so fast. They actually opened at 4:29, which was the date or the time that the first ever In-N-Out ever opened its doors.
Wow.
And they had a huge memorial beforehand with prayer and everything. It was really beautiful.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So, but one of the victims, I know through a family friend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. He was the second person to be pew-pewed that day. He was in the drive-through.
Oh my gosh.
So I told my mom and dad, I said, I don't know if I can ever even go through a drive-through. I mean, after seeing the footage.
And they still don't have a motive or anything?
They're investigating still. I mean, like they said, they're not going to hurry through it. They want to take their time and get it right. So they said as soon as they come to a conclusion, they will release the information.
But they're not even saying like what direction, like if this was like what direction the motivation could have been. They're not even disclosing anything.
Yeah, well, I think they're confused because there's a lot of stuff on his FB that showed how angry he was at other mass pew-pewers. So it's like, okay, so then what made you do this? I mean, he was on I think if it wasn't for the three heroes that were there between Salinas, which is actually a family friend.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I graduated with his cousin.
Oh, wow.
And everything. Yeah, the way that between Salinas, the off-duty Idaho State Trooper that was inside In-N-Out, he exchanged pew-pew fire with him through the food window. And then he started doing life-saving actions and getting everyone to safety inside the restaurant. And then there was he used to be on the Twin Falls Police and Idaho State Police Force, but he is no longer with them. He was the third person outside that was pew-pewed. He's alive. He's going to have a long road to recovery, but he's there. But I mean, this guy had if you knew like how the restaurant and the road is, he started at the restaurant, then went towards Blue Lakes Boulevard, which is the main road coming into Twin Falls. He ended up pew-pewing three people that were just driving down Blue Lakes. One was a motorcyclist, One was a woman driving and pew-pewed in her face. She's in Salt Lake in critical condition still. And then there was a third person. Then he went back towards the bridge and visitor center. He went inside the visitor center, and luckily those people, I mean, they were just under the clothes racks. The 3 people were.
Wow.
And he didn't see anyone there. And so, yeah, it's just crazy.
Wow.
And so.
How old was he, the shooter? How old was he?
23? 23 or 24, I can't remember. And he had gone to our community college up there in Idaho for a year and a half.
I saw
there was
that.
There was a lot of confusion. They thought that he went to a community college here in Arizona, and he hadn't.
The one that starts with an M?
Yeah.
Maricopa. Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
Yep. And so he had never gone there. There was another kid by that name here. That name's very popular. Well,
yeah, Chad Williams.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it'll be interesting to see if he left a manifesto or anything like that.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
It could have been 10 times worse if he would have made it inside that restaurant.
Wow. So is the consensus that In-N-Out was his target?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's where it all started. He pew-pewed the worker. She wasn't even from Twin Falls. She was actually from California. She was up there training. I mean, the restaurant had just opened 8 days prior. Right. And Twin Falls was so excited because before, people always had to either drive to Boise or they drove to Salt Lake, one or the other, to get their fix of In-N-Out. So there was hundreds of people there in that vicinity. You have the mall right across the street. You have the bridge that's right there, which base jumpers were out there doing their base jumping that day. And I mean, it was just a very busy day out in that area.
That's so, like, it was so out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And still nobody knows. Like, what about his family? Has anybody gotten in touch with family or are they speaking?
I haven't seen them speak at all. So
are they local?
I'm not sure where his family lives. I mean, I know he grew up in Arizona, but I don't know if they all moved to Twin Falls. I have no clue. And that will be interesting. And I know that Twin Falls police, they're just calling him the shooter. That's it. They will not say his name. They refuse to say his name. They said that just glorifies people. So it will be, I'm hoping within a few weeks we'll know more.
Yeah.
Because they said they'll do another press conference when they have more information.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if they need help with anything, they need to reveal more information, because right now there's a lot of people suffering and want answers.
Yep.
The families that are involved are just like, what? Why?
Exactly.
We were just trying to go out for a regular day,
Yep. Yep. And I mean, I was scared because of my best friend her and her kids have always loved In-N-Out, and so I was scared that they might have been there, but they were camping that weekend, thank goodness.
You were too. I remember talking to you like within an hour or two of that, and you were like, I'm just waiting to hear back from my friends and loved ones, and I'm just waiting. And we were doing a live, I think, even, and you were like, I'm just waiting, and you were so concerned. Like, honestly, you were so concerned.
Yeah, because I still have aunts and uncles that live there. And then all my close friends. I mean, I was born and raised there. my mom was born and raised there. My grandma, everyone. So I've got deep roots there. Yeah. So my husband's buried there.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's just, yeah, it's home. And so I just never thought that it would ever happen in little Twin Falls. I mean, 56,000 people.
Yeah. Well, you got messages on my YouTube here from people saying that they're sorry for your pain and they're thinking about you, and thank you for sharing everything too. So,
well, thank you guys. It's just keep Twin Falls in your prayers, because I mean, this really rocked that whole area.
Yeah.
And
I'm just surprised it's not in the news more, honestly, like, why aren't they talking about it?
I don't know. I mean, it's very frustrating. I mean, I know they don't want to, and that's one thing that I've tried to do on my ex, is that I haven't posted much about him. I've posted everyone's stories. Like, mm-hmm. I just did a story on the trooper, the off-duty one that was inside the restaurant. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to give the victims their platform and get their message out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, there was little kids around there, everything, and I just can't even imagine having to try and tell my children if they were little
of
like
course. That. Yeah.
And so, and my brother was actually he was coming back from Wyoming, headed towards Washington State, and he was going to go into Twin to have something to eat, and he decided to keep going to Boise. He missed the whole thing by probably 45 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So.
And it would have been just typical that, wanting to stop and eat and go to the In-N-Out because it's brand new too.
Yep. And
everything happens for a reason. There's always somebody on our shoulder pushing us along. I really believe that.
Yep, because it would have been an easy off ramp to get off of the interstate. He could have parked the trailer over at the mall and just walked across the bridge and went and had lunch. I also had a very dear friend of mine. He was in a different restaurant when it started, and they locked down the whole restaurant. It was the Raising Cane's there, and they locked everything down, and they didn't leave there for 3 hours.
Wow.
Until police came and knocked on their door and told them that it was safe to come out. And then there was the 17-year-old kid that he actually was trying to help people get out of the area, and he was on the walking path, and he came face to face with the guy, and the guy tried to shoot at him once, and I mean, he's my son's age.
Oh my gosh. And what happened? Did his gun lock, or like what happened?
It was just a bad angle, and so
wow.
And he just started running as fast as he could, and he called his dad, and he was hiding and everything like that. And so, yeah, it's just, if you haven't seen the new footage from Twin Falls Police Department, it actually shows everything. I have it on my X. You can go on to Twin Falls Police Department's FB. They've got it there as well. Wow. And it shows from the beginning to the end where the officers are actually on pursuit of him, and he falls over the canyon.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. So.
Well, keep us posted on that. Anything new with the Guthrie case? All I know is it's Savannah's daughter's birthday today. So happy birthday to her daughter, Val. today.
Yeah, happy birthday to Belle. They did find human remains here in Tucson. It's bones and bones only. We've had a lot of monsoon weather. Last night was really, really bad here last night. And so today it unearthed these bones. This time they're not saying they're prehistoric or archaeological like they keep saying on everything else. So I guess we will have to wait and see who that ends up being.
Yeah, I heard that with all the rains and stuff that they were kind of hoping that it would turn over some stuff and maybe, discover anything, and looks like,
and there was two older SUVs, black SUVs back behind Nancy's house yesterday with a bunch of people inside them. And then in the last couple of weeks, FBI's been out there behind the house as well. So I don't know what is so important to that dirt road right there, but there's got to be some kind of importance.
Well, yeah. I mean, definitely something is coming up. And also, we can always assume that when Savannah releases a statement or a video, that it's going to spark up a lot of new leads, right, to the tip lines and to the FBI and whatnot. And this is going to lead them to come out and follow up on those leads. So maybe this is just from that. We don't know. But hopefully we'll hear something soon and we'll get a resolve on this, because they do deserve answers, especially with her granddaughter having a birthday today. And I assume that would have been a very big deal with her grandmother, Nancy, celebrating it with her. And she probably misses that a whole lot.
Yeah.
And I'm sad.
Well, and I mean, school has started here already. We're in the almost the second week as of tomorrow, finished in the books of schools. So you have Annie and Tommaso's son, who probably still isn't in school because of everything.
Yeah.
So
they might be even doing online school for him this year. You never know.
Yeah. And I wouldn't blame them a bit.
I wouldn't either.
I'd be scared to death if I were them.
I would too. I wouldn't put my kid in school after all this. Trust me, I wouldn't. I know people that didn't put their kids in school for much less.
Yes. Yep. And so I think with both things, I mean, and the age of the kids, I mean, I know Savannah is doing a lot for Annie and Tommaso. I mean, I know she put all the cameras up at Annie and Tommaso's house the same day that they did Nancy's.
Yeah, I was there during that. Yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine that she's hired people to watch over them as well.
For sure. Yeah. Do we know, I know for a good amount of time, I know that Annie and Tommaso went to an Airbnb right after the abduction, but then they came back to the house because remember there was one of the creators that filmed Tommaso screaming from the doorway. And then I heard that they went to Italy for a little bit of a time. Do we know if they're back from that?
Don't know. We've also heard that they're in Vermont.
Oh, okay.
Oh, where Cam is.
Oh, okay.
But we've also heard that Cam is still here, so I don't know.
Yeah. But nobody's ever seen him over there.
There has been people that have said that, they saw him at Home Depot.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know about that. Well, then I take that back. So if they've seen him, well then maybe he really is over there then. Yeah. And why shouldn't he be? His mom, he should be looking for his mother. He should be there. That makes sense. That's a good thing. For me, that makes me feel better because it's always been why aren't they there looking? And now it's if he's been there, then good.
And it also dispels the fact that, so that dinner that Nancy went to, Cameron was there.
Mm-hmm.
He had
Which
been
one?
here-
On that Saturday?
Yes.
Okay.
He had been here. People had spotted him locally, all over restaurants, different things since the first week of January.
Mm.
Him and his wife own a condo here.
Okay. And also because they were celebrating Miss Nancy's birthday on the 27th,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So that was kind of her birthday dinner, is how they put it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that now.
So yeah, I feel so horrible for the family, and I just wished we could get some kind of answers.
I know, I do too. It's been long enough. I mean, we're at over 6 months now.
Yeah. Which I just can't even.
What is the coldest that it gets over there?
Oh, like overnight, maybe 45.
Okay, what about during the day?
70s.
And what month is that?
December, January.
So around then.
Yeah. The last couple of years we've been warmer than others. Like that Saturday that she disappeared, we were in the 80s.
Yeah.
And so it just really depends. But yeah,
I don't know. I have some weird feeling that come October, November, there's going to be another mass people coming out because the weather suits them better, and it's all about them, not what it's really about. And they're going to then dedicate their time to do some searches because it's going to be easier on them. And maybe we'll get some answer, maybe 2-3 more answers during that time. But if that's what it's going to take to get more eyes and feet, to do some work, then so be it, because we need the real people out there, not, what's there right now. So.
Yeah, I completely wholeheartedly agree. I think that there needs to be some big searches. Other than maybe why we haven't seen that is because Pima knows more than what we all know. Maybe they're just trying to lure this person out. I don't know.
And maybe they just need it to be quiet for a little bit and need this person to get comfortable. And they want them to go about their daily routine so they can get caught,
Yep. I mean, go out to the bar, have some drinks, and then start talking about.
Right. They just want them to get comfortable and go about their daily activities to make a mistake. Everybody makes a mistake. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
There's going to be a mistake. Yeah. Right.
So.
Yeah.
But.
You got anything else going on?
No, not really.
No.
I'm going to start Idaho 4 next week.
Well, let me know if you have any questions. I might be doing a live tomorrow with a lawyer that will answer any legal questions about this whole post-conviction relief petition.
Okay.
So that should be interesting. I'm going to try to get a bunch of questions together ahead of time to see, what people are trying to figure out. But I will have that confirmed within the next few hours, if not tomorrow morning. So
okay, awesome.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, my head, with my vision being so bad, I always wanted to deep dive this so badly, but the documents I just can't see. And I actually found someone on the YT that she's actually going through each document one by one, reading, going through it, everything. And I have more questions than I did before.
I bet. Well, you can always text me and ask me anything you need to, if you get stuck on anything. So just let me know.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, and that's just another case that I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it. I think there's more to it.
Like what?
I think he might have had help.
Yeah, I mean, I know that that's like a lot of the new swirling
I
conspiracy
didn't realize
theories.
how much damage he did to Kaylee's face until I was watching this lady go through the documents. I mean, with as much damage that was done to her face, that's going to take a few minutes along with the pokey.
Right. But remember, he's trained in jujitsu, karate, and boxing, right?
Yeah.
And this is a person.
Other thing that really, I don't understand this, because there was no cross-contamination between the victims, not one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you going to sit and go and get everything off of the pokey every single time after each victim? That to me just does not make any sense. Either that or he had 4 of them.
I know what you mean. Yeah, right. Where I think I know what you mean. I know.
Yeah, it's just, and then the shoe imprints outside, I figured that was him, but now they're saying in the documents that those weren't his.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what in the world? I mean, you would think that you'd have to have something. And then the car that is coming in has fog lights, but his does not.
Coming in where, though?
Coming into King Road house. There's been a bunch of people that have pointed out that there's fog lights on that Elantra that has come into that place.
There's different videos, though. So
yeah,
we have to figure out which video you're looking at, and if it's the video that's been put into evidence, right?
Yeah.
So that matters too.
And then the whole thing of between Ethan's mom saying that the 2:00 hour was the worst hour, and then hearing all of the screams and stuff between that hour, and the dog barking. Just there's just so much that I'm just like, I just don't get it. I mean,
yeah.
And then being able to not leave any trace other than the sheath.
Well, his DNA was on the sheath more than once, though, too.
Yeah.
They're just not talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just, I don't know. There's just something there that I know he was a loner, but still the type of people that would do something like that are going to be like a dark web type group if he was in something like that. And I hope that they would have went down that rabbit hole, the investigators, to make sure that he wasn't involved in anything like that, since he loved the mind of a serial unaliver. Because that can happen. And so it's just, I don't know. There's just something there. It's like, and if it comes out that he was the only one that did it, then I hope they give him the DP and be done and over with it.
Yeah.
I
hope he gets the firing squad.
Yeah, exactly. And so you don't want to mess with that. And so it's like, I don't understand his logic of a new trial.
I mean, for me, I understand it completely, because it just goes with his whole psyche and how he's been behaving since he's been in high school. And it goes with his whole patterns with how he just doesn't, he has these knee-jerk ideas and knee-jerk propositions to his family, to his, immediate circle. And he's like, this is what I'm doing. This is the way. And he doesn't think about the repercussions for all the people in his immediate circle and how it's going to affect them. But he has such a hold on them, such a chokehold on them, that they just listen to him because they're hoping that pray to God, please, Jesus, that this is going to be it. And that this finally, when he explains this to them, the way it's like this whole PowerPoint presentation, and he's saying, this will be it. When you guys do this for me, I will be done and on my way. I will never bother you with my insanity again. And they're like, oh, maybe this is it. And they concede and they do it and they fall in line, and only to be again and again and again. And when I say it started in high school and all of that, and it's one of the prime examples is when he convinced his family to give him a mommy makeover. This dude is what? How old was he when he got that? 19? When he convinced his family to give him a tummy tuck? Just because he enjoyed to eat and all that, and he then convinced them to allow him to pay for his mommy makeover because he wants to look hot for the ladies. Where were the medical professionals? Just like with the Lindsay Clancy, where were the medical professionals to tell this guy that you are not in the mature state of mind, your body is not done growing, your skin is not done being elasticized, your bones are not even done until you're 25, your mind will F you so hard that you've never been F this hard, bro, trust me, and you still won't, because your life is going to suck for the rest of your life. And we're going to grant this for you? Who allowed that? Like, seriously, they should be up on the stand too. That they allowed him to look all prim and proper for what? For what? Yeah. Just to give him that ideation, that whole, like, blow his mind up even more. And that's what, all those things is what started him on this whole path from in high school, with the rehabs, with the neighbor robbing the neighbors, from stealing the parents' phone, from the physical altercations with the sisters, with the parents, and them always just letting him get away with it, because he said, if you let me do this, if you let me go to this rehab and not tell on me, I promise I'll be better after. And they're like, guys, the family, the parents are like, hey, I think this is the time. I think this time is the right time. He's going to do it. And they all paid, and they all gave, and they all listened, and they all did that. And what happened? It just kept going and snowballing to what? To the point where he fucking balls to the wall and killed 4 people because they let him do what he wanted to do because he's in charge. And now he's saying, oh, my immediate family was there when they were saying that I was going to have this beautiful life on death row. What? Okay. But this is how he's throwing them under the bus, by adding them in the narrative again. He's in them again. And now what are they left with? So now he gets to write all this. He gets to write their names, show the whole world, the public, that they were there, they were witness to this. And then he gets to just close that, send it off. And the gate, the gate gets closed, locked, and he just lays in his bed like, and his family has to open their front door and face the fucking public, the music. And they're like, what? So now we got to explain this. We got to get counsel. We got to pay for lawyers. We just got used to getting to go to the grocery store again. We just got comfortable, but now we're getting tomatoes and eggs thrown at us again. And not only that, but the eggs that are on recall. So now we're shitting nonstop, like all this stuff. Like, come on. He doesn't care about anybody but himself again. And it just keeps showing again and again and again. He doesn't think about the repercussions. And they're okay with it.
I just hope that if they do a trial, that Bill Thompson is not the prosecutor.
I don't think he can be. Honestly, I don't think he can. But I don't know that for a fact, so I'm sure somebody will come in here and correct me a million times over, but I don't think he can be. I really don't. I think
That
it's
would
part
be
of
a
the
good
chopping
question.
block, but I don't know.
That would be a good question to ask the attorney tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I will. Let me write that down. And then the other thing is, hold on, BT.
Because I cannot stand Bill Thompson. I think he is the worst prosecutor probably on the face of the planet.
Oh yeah, well, he changed everything. I was there. I was there for several of the hearings, but then right at the end, I went to the guilty plea hearing and the sentencing hearing. When during the plea hearing, I couldn't believe my ears when he was saying something along the lines of, oh my God, I don't even know what it was, but it was something like he didn't go in there to kill the 4 people. It was something like he didn't intentionally go in to unalive all 4 people. It just so happened. Like he had basically saying he had a goal of unaliving 1 person, but in the process, 3 more happened, and good thing that it wasn't a total of 6 kind of thing. Like, what? Are you trying to make this into a positive unaliving because he didn't do all 6 in and only 4?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
And I don't like Taylor. I think she's almost just as bad as Bill Thompson.
Oh yeah, during the plea hearing, when he admitted the guilty, whatever that's called, I can't think of it right now. She walked out of the room, so they I was in the room, and then they did this whole thing where they were like, first it's the victims' families, then it's going to be the defendants' families, and then it's going to be counsel from prosecution, then counsel from defense, like they did everything in a row. When she walked out, because I was right in the pew right there at the end, and so she's walking out like right here in front, like this far away from, hold on, so they could see, this far away from me. She's walking like that. She's laughing. She's laughing while she's walking with his Koberger's family. She's with her stuff like this, and she's like, wasn't that a great day in court today?
Wow.
I was like, who's laughing? We're crying over here, and you're laughing?
And that's why I would not put it past her to have made it out to be this fantastic deal. I would not put it past her. I honestly think she was tired of it.
Yeah, but she's pissed. She's not happy that he's trying to file ineffective counsel, and that's why he's filing for this post-conviction relief petition. And he's saying the reasoning is because he had ineffective counsel, and that he was lied to and pressured and told all these fairy tales of this beautiful life that he would have if he pled guilty. And then he's saying that he was threatened in addition to that by Ann Taylor.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past her, though. I really wouldn't. I think she was so tired of Hippler tossing out every single motion that she ever tried to do. And I think she finally just gave up. I mean, because now they're saying there is evidence that they didn't give to the defense. And why was that? I mean, it just, to me, it's like, okay, if there's evidence, all of that, I don't care how many terabytes it was, it should have been given to the defense. So I could see her just being like, I'm done. I'm going to just tell him whatever I have to.
But she could have just withdrawn herself too, instead of ruining her entire career, which is going to happen if that's the case, right? And not only herself, but however, like she's going to ruin the career of all the team people that she had too. And she's already filed against this. And she said she's going to, she talked about the, oh my God, what is it called? The, not patient client privileges, it is kind of, right? Client lawyer privileges, right?
Yeah.
And that she's going to divulge some of the client lawyer privileges because they've now been diminished due to this.
Yeah.
And sure, yeah, she's going to speak on some of it, but it's going to be very, very small, very isolated. She definitely isn't going to divulge like the, everything because she can't. And plus, if she ever wants to practice in law again, nobody's going to trust her. If she says anything, they're going to be like, nah, I remember you. Once that guy said something, you told everybody everything. I'm not telling you nothing. I don't trust you. So why would she put her career on the line for that at the same time? That's confusing to me, but I do understand how she will speak to his claims and kind of say, well, I understand where he's saying that I may have said XYZ. If you plead guilty, this is what your life will look like. But maybe it was a pros and a cons situation. You know what I mean? Like maybe she drew a chart for him and she was like pros and cons, pleading guilty versus not pleading guilty. How does that look? And now he's just pulling one side of it. That's why I think it's good to hear both sides of the story. So.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, and he's got one heck of an attorney now.
A divorce attorney?
No,
his attorney's a divorce attorney.
Oh no, I thought he's really good in the Boise area.
Really? Well, maybe I read the wrong stuff, but I heard he had like his ratings were like 0.0001 and he was a divorce attorney. So
I don't think they can get a divorce attorney for a post-conviction. They would have to have that background, because if this ends up being a new trial, the guy is going to have DP, what is it called? He has to be DP certified through the state of Idaho, like Ann Taylor was.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And so, because they're not going to, I wouldn't think they're going to have a post-conviction attorney and then give him another set of attorneys for the trial. And I think this guy's going to be doing the whole thing.
I'll have to look into him a little bit better. I just heard a lot of people just started the rumor mill about him and, Yeah.
So, I mean, what sucks is they've brought out all the documents. I think they should have waited at least till this September, knowing that he had until this September to do this.
Yeah.
Because now, where are you going to find a jury that hasn't heard?
Well, you'd be surprised when I went, so for one of the times, like when they were in Boise for either the hearing or the sentencing, and I took an Uber to the courthouse, and it was a gentleman. He was probably like 24, 25 years old, and he looked like, he would be he would be in the know of what college kids are doing. That would be his hangout kind of crowd, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And especially within the last 4 years, like I would assume if he's like 25, 26 or around there, then within 3-4 years, he would be still within 21, 22. So that's still his kind of scene, his hangout scene, whatever. And his car was really cool, like I could tell he could rally. And so he's like, I said, can you take me to the courthouse? And he was like, yeah, what's going on over there? I brought so many people there this morning, and there's so many cameras and all this stuff going on. And I was like, you don't know what's going on over there? And he was like, no. And I go, it's the Brian Koberger sentencing today. It was one of them. And he goes, who's that? And this is in Boise. I go, Brian Koberger? And this guy's like in mid-20s. And I go, Brian Koberger, he murdered 4 students at University of Idaho in 2022. He was like, no. I go, how long have you lived here? He's like, my whole life. He had no idea. No clue. He just said, no, nothing. And so then that kind of got me thinking, now when I'm going to be talking to people, I'm going to start questioning them. If I go to the grocery store, if I go to eat here or there, I want to know how many people actually don't know about this in their own state, but not only that, in the town that the case is now has been moved to. And I went to the grocery store because I was in line early, and I'd get yes, I'm going to pat myself on the back. I got donuts for everybody in the line in the morning and stuff like that. And, but I would talk to people. So everybody in the grocery store knew exactly what was going on, but the grocery store is right across from the courthouse. At the hotel, everybody pretty much knew. I got to say, it was really just that one guy. It was just that one guy. And maybe, I'm trying to think, I think one other person, but I think the other person or 2 other people didn't know about it. But that was during when I went earlier, and that was to Moscow. And that was during the demolition days and stuff like that. And they didn't know about it. So, but it's still surprising to me, even going right to the town where it happened, and people would still be like, what? You're here for what? I'd be like, what? You don't know about what? So
people are just weird. I mean, I went to Boise State for the first 2 years, transferred to Washington State for the rest, lived in Moscow, everything. It's just bizarre to me. I mean, really, that whole area is pretty quiet.
Yeah. I mean, it's a different atmosphere, 100%. Like when I went there for the demolition, I tried to get a feel for the town, how the people kind of interacted with each other, stuff like that. And, I live in Texas. So, and I'm from New York, I moved here from New York. And in New York, people don't hold doors open for anybody. They don't say, hi, how are you? Just because you walk by each other on the street. Like they spit in each other's faces, or they hit each other. I'm sure everybody sees the footage, right? Here, and then when I moved here to Texas, I got some 4-year-old holding the door open for me saying, after you, ma'am. And I was like, what? So it was a whole different environment for me when I moved here. And I really liked it, and I appreciate it. Because my whole life, I've always been all about manners. This is not just since here. This was me in New York, all that. My kids always got, the manner award in school, because that's just, my kids still say pardon, So when we were here, I really just loved that whole mannerism and how everybody just appreciated being nice to one another. So when I went to Moscow, I kind of was paying attention to how people lived over there. What was the everyday life like? And especially after the crime happened. And I already got some reflection because I ran that giant group, that I started, and that was mine, just so everybody knows it wasn't anybody else's. And I interacted with a lot of locals in that group, and they gave me a lot of intel and told me a lot of things to look out for, and this and that, and all this. And this was before I even told them that I was going there or anything. But so then finally I'm going there, and now I'm thinking about all the stuff that they've told me. And so here I go. And one thing that stuck out to me while they were telling me is, if you go to any public places like a gas station, a coffee shop, or anything like that, and they know that you're from out of town and are asking or like inquiring, or they look like, or you look like you want to know about this case or anything, you will get shunned and literally just treated like a piece of shit immediately. And I can respect that. I can understand that too, because I'm sure that they were just bombarded, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So then in my mind, I'm thinking too, like, if I go out there and this is how they're treating people, then how am I going to get anybody to open up and talk to me? And you know, and how am I going to figure or like get a feel for anything? Right. So, you know, whatever. So I go and I'm just, you know, feeling the environment out, whatever. And I go to this gas station down the road from where I was staying. And there was an older gentleman that was the caretaker, whatever, the cashier at this gas station. But every night when I would go there, I noticed he was like the late night shift, like probably from, you know, 8 p.m. to probably 3 a.m. He always had that late night shift.
Yeah.
He was probably 60s, balding, but his beard was white, like down to his belly, very, you know, nice. Definitely like same music I like, you know, stuff like that. And so I kind of, one day I waited for the store to empty out a little bit, and I joked around with him about something, and I was like, I just got to get him to laugh. I got to get him to kind of talk to me. And I did it. We built a little rapport, and I was like, so tell me a little about this area, like what's going on? And he's like, oh, I figured. I was like, no, talk to me, you know? And I go, I have a question. I go, I don't think you understand what my questions are. And I'm like, in my head, I'm spinning, like, oh, think of a question. And I go, I'm so curious about your water towers. And then I just stood there like, okay. So now it's like, I didn't even know. So now I'm going to learn about the water towers, because that's the first thing that came to my mind. So ask me anything you need to know about water towers over there and I'll know. But this is how I kind of gained the trust, right? And the rapport, and we're kind of talking. He's like, oh, well, if that's all you were after, you should have said something. I was like, yeah, are you kidding me? I go, let me tell you something. I moved from New York to Texas, and Texas is nothing but water towers. And I still can't understand it. Now I come here and you guys got water towers too. So make me understand it. And he's like, I'll make you understand it. And I was like, okay, I got him. And so we start talking, and he's telling me about the water and why they have to have towers, and the land, and the dirt, and why it doesn't compact, and why they can't get the water pipes to go through, and this and that. And I'm just like, tell me more, you know. And he was a really nice guy, and we just kept chatting, and we just honestly hit it off. It was a great conversation. And then he just he did it on his own. He segued into and then it kind of, you know, a lot of our tourists that come in, you know, when they have their students visiting the colleges and the parents come and tour, and I'm like, and we just keep going. And I go, and I bet you have a lot more of that right now versus any other time, especially with what's going on. He's like, ooh, yeah, you don't say. And I go, so how is that? Like, what is that like right now with, you know, the people coming in and you not knowing who's a tourist, who's just looking for information? How do you know, are you being questioned on who's an outsider versus who do you know that is a regular student here? Like, are you being questioned yourself since you're right in the hub? Because he was right on the corner where like the college is this way, and then the main road is here, and then where the oh my God, what is that? The Greek place? Mad Greek. So the village is behind me. So I was like right on the corner. So if you go this way, the village is behind me, and here's the college. Yeah. So I was like right on the corner. I was like, yeah, so how does that work now? Are you being questioned? And he started to open up with me and tell me like that he's in a very difficult position, that he's being bombarded, and that it's not, that it's a very small town and they don't like to talk to outsiders. And they know when an outsider comes in, they will shut them down immediately. And he starts getting very stern. And just then, as he's telling me how they don't like to talk to outsiders because they know what they're looking for, they know how to spot outsiders. And that's why they knew that this, originally they should have known that this was an outsider. Somebody should have spotted him. And he was just like, putting his hands on the counter. He's like, we should have known this and that. And just then a bunch of college students walked in the door, because it was just him and I in the store. And a bunch of college students walked in the door. It was probably like 11 at night. And, because they just want probably beers, mixers, who cares? And because that door rang and those college students walked in, that guy turned away from me like I was like an aberration, like I didn't even exist. He turned away and he was just like, is there anything else you need tonight, ma'am? Are you all set? And I kind of was like, what? But I didn't make that face. I go, no, I'm all set. Thank you very much for your help tonight. He goes, well, I'll be here tomorrow night if you come by again. Hope you're all set. And I was like, yep, I'll see you later. And he made it like he gave me that look. Those college students were in, and he's not going to get caught talking to me, because if he does, they're going to tell on him, and then he's going to be marked.
Yep.
I left.
There was two things that happened in the area when I lived there. The first one was a good friend of mine's ex-husband had gone out. He was in Pullman. He went out to the bar with his girlfriend, met up with another couple. They went back to his place, started drinking some more. He found his girlfriend and the other guy in bed, and he ended up unaliving the guy, and then made the two women help clean up and take him out to the river and dump him. And it was bizarre. I mean, it was because I'd been around that guy. I mean, it scared me to pieces when it happened. But then the second one was, it was in June of 2001. It was a WS student again. His name was Fred Russell. And he had been drinking and driving. And I was coming back from Washington State back over to my apartment in Moscow. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I got into this quarrel with another friend. And thank goodness I did, because he ended up unaliving so many people on the Moscow Pullman Highway. And I had to go the back road where Coburger went. Oh my That's the only way I could get home. Otherwise, it only took me like 15 minutes to ever get home from Washington State. But that back road takes about an hour and 10 minutes. Right. And so I just remember seeing all the fire trucks and ambulances and cop lights all across the highway. And his dad was a professor as well at Washington State. And they bonded him out. Mm-hmm. He ended up fleeing, went to Canada first, and then went from Canada to Ireland. Oh, wow. And he was on, I don't know if you remember the America's Most Wanted show. Of course. I remember all of them. He was on that on a constant basis. Can't remember. He was on the loose for a few years. I mean, he had been bartending over in Ireland. He had a girlfriend, the whole 9 yards. He had made up a new name. And someone saw the America's Most Wanted, and they called it in. And they got him, and he was transferred back to Washington State.
Oh my God.
But I mean, past that, I mean, other than the one that happened like 6 years prior to Coburger, that unaliving, it's a very quiet town. Very, very quiet.
And that's the thing too, is that all of the things that have happened since then have never happened again. And like the skinning of the dog, right? There was the skinning of the dogs. That's never happened since.
Nope.
The stalking of the other students that they said there was this white car coming up and down my road. They even have pictures of it during these timelines of when he was living there. That's never repeated itself again since he was there, or since this happened. There's all these different events that have never happened again since his arrest. But yet he's screaming innocence. And that's a whole nother thing, how he's screaming innocence now after 3 years, 8 months. And he's had all of these opportunities to say it, and he's never said it. Never. Not even his family.
I know that it's hard for people that, when the DP is on the table, and you get scared and you just sign whatever you have to sign to get that off.
Yeah.
But if I didn't do it, I would be fighting like hell.
Right.
To clear my name.
Well, that and his family, like his family wasn't, like they were saying things that were upsetting to them in these events that occurred up until a month ago, right? They were expressing their distaste and disdain and all that, but we didn't really hear anybody shouting, "My son, my brother, my nephew is innocent. This is ridiculous. Oh my gosh, the biggest murder in the country right now, in the world, and you guys are after the wrong person." Like, come on. Where was any of that? It was nowhere until a book came out kind of crying about it, and then he's like, "Oh, wait, maybe this guy's got a point here." And that's what it took. Get out of here with that. And that's what I'm saying. He throws out these knee-jerk things, and they all fall for it, and they like fall for him, and they bow to him. But also in my mind, I think it's because they really in their hearts and souls think, please let this be the last thing. Maybe this will be the close. We got to believe him at some point. We really do. Because what other choice do they have? They don't.
Yeah, they really don't. And like you said with Moscow, it's such a small community. The town, literally, I remember my first summer working up there in the mall at Foot Locker, and I was so excited. I was like, yes, I'm going to have fun this summer. Oh my gosh. It was the most boring summer I've ever. There was 0 customers. We just sat around, did nothing. The town literally cuts in half when the kids go home.
Yeah, I was there in December. I think I got there December 26th. So they were all home for Christmas. So it was. There was a little bit of action, but it was definitely a ghost town. And I could totally agree with what you're saying. There was nothing going on at all. Like it was quiet.
And so then the next summer, I was like, I'm going home. Like, I am not staying here. And so I went home to Twin, and They transferred me from Foot Locker. It was an amazing place because they would transfer me back home during Christmas or Thanksgiving, spring break, whatever I wanted.
Oh, awesome.
And it was awesome. But yeah, no, I miss Moscow, and Moscow is such a beautiful.
It really was. Like when I was there, I thought it was just darling. I loved it. I went where I went to college for my first like 2 years. It was a small town in like Finger Lakes area in New York. And it reminded me a lot of that. Like it was just like a small village with the main street having these cute little boutiques and stores and shops and coffee shops. And it honestly just reminded me so much of that. And I loved it. The nostalgia was there. So
yeah, I mean, it's a neat town, and what has happened there, I mean, but it hasn't deterred kids from attending. I mean,
no, not at all.
Enrollment has never gone down.
Right.
I mean, I give the Chapin kids so much kudos for coming back after Christmas, even after they got Coburger.
Yeah.
I mean, not knowing if they had got the correct person, I would be scared to death to send my other two children back down there to Moscow.
Yeah. I know.
It just didn't seem real when it happened.
Well, yeah, it just kind of gave like a dark cloud over it, but they tried to do everything in their power to assure everybody that it was an isolated incident, that it was safe, and that not to be concerned. I mean, they tried to assure everybody that by 5 p.m. on November 13th in 2022. So.
Yep, they did. I mean, it was just, that part was just crazy to me that they were able to try to tell people. I was like, I mean, my cousin's son and his wife live up in Moscow during that time. They worked at U of I. Mm-hmm. They still live up there, and they knew some of the people involved in the inner circles and different things like that. And they just said it was just
like student wise, like young people.
Yeah. Mm. Yep. They knew some of the friends. Mm-hmm. Of them, because they were all the same age. Mm-hmm. My cousin had just graduated like the year before.
Oh, okay.
And so, and his wife had too. But yeah, it was just, he said it was like just a real dark cloud. You just kind of went and did your job, came home, and you just didn't really do much outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it just, I mean, I hope and pray that we'll get answers finally out of this.
Like what his motive was and all that?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think we kind of got all that. Like he was after one person to satisfy his sexual need, I think, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get solid answers, not just hearsay. I understand.
Exactly. Yeah. And I would love to hear from his old professor at DeSalle's, Catherine Ramslin. Yeah, I would love to hear her speak about this because she hasn't.
Yeah.
And he was in her program.
Right.
So, and I absolutely love her to pieces. I think she is one of the best in her field.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just crazy. And I pray for the families because this has got to be a slap in the face.
It is. It's very difficult for them. It is. But if this gives them the opportunity to get him a officially onto death row, then that might give them the satisfaction, right?
Yep, exactly. I think it would definitely do that and give, I mean, the ones I feel bad for is Bethany and Dylan. I know they'd have to call them as witnesses, and they're probably just getting to a point where they can actually maybe function.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I understand. I know. And hopefully they're getting the right therapy and all of that. And, but if there is a trial, they most likely will have to go up on the stand, and it's going to resurface everything for them.
Yep.
So I think that's going to have a big play in this as well, and a decision and in the decision making of this as well. So
yeah, I think so too. And I mean, but then we're just going back to the drawing board of, it's going to take how many years to get this team of lawyers ready, because there is so much evidence. I mean, you're talking terabytes.
And there's even more now too, because yeah. So
it's like, because it's the stuff that the state didn't hand over,
right,
as well, which if they would have handed everything over, maybe we wouldn't be in this spot either.
Well, yeah, and plus it never went to trial, so we just don't know everything that they were ready and anticipated to present, right? What tricks they had up their sleeve to present to the jurors, and like what kind of tactics they were getting ready to present.
Yeah. So. Like I was really hoping and praying last year. I mean, I wanted the trial, but then again, I saw it in the light of, okay, this is a good thing for the families, because he doesn't get appeal after appeal after appeal. And I thought that he had until last September. I didn't know it was this September.
Yeah, it's this September.
When this all came down, I was just blown away. I was like, what? How can he be doing this? He has no appeals.
Yeah.
But then it came out that he had till this September. I'm like, oh, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's going to be the roller coaster that the families, I feel absolutely horrible for.
Right. Yeah.
And so, but I don't know. I guess we will see.
All right. I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, I had fun.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Yes.
And tomorrow is no trial for Lindsay Clancy. They will resume on Monday, and it looks like defense is going, which is going to be the bomb. I'm going to try to do a live tomorrow with a lawyer, my buddy Matt, and answer questions about the Koberger case. So I have to connect with him and see, because he wanted to do it on Saturday, but I can't on Saturday. So I'm going to see if I can move it to tomorrow. So if he can do it tomorrow, we're going to do it tomorrow. If not, we're going to have to push it again. So don't forget to follow myself and Widow. Don't forget to like, follow, share, click it, and then go to my YouTube and then subscribe so I can get up to 1,000. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and I will see you guys later. Happy Thursday. Yes. Bye, Widow. I'll text you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay,
thanks for joining.
All
right. Bye. See ya. Bye, everybody. Thank you.